Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another video. This time, the Ranger Veteran. So today we are going to take a look at the idea of a support build. There are a few people that I've even talked to that always thought, how can I make an actual support build? Because everything in this game is about block, push, attack, dodge, and it's the same every time. However, you can make a handful of builds that don't necessarily rely too much on that, and whose shtick is to support their team, either by, let's say, with a Foot Knight, with Bulwark, charge in and cause enemies to suffer additional damage, or in this case with Bardin, who can dupe items and get even more out of those that he collects, as well as generate items. Okay, so let's get over that real quick. In regards to weapons, for this build I like to use the Cog Hammer. Crit chance, swift slaying, just so we can really lay into those hordes again. And then you can either use the Grudge Raker or the handgun. Now the reason why you can switch them is it's just taste, really. Because when you use the handgun, you're really good at killing specials and elites. The Grudge Raker is a bit more versatile, but he can definitely take care of non-armored elites. Even more so on the Outcast Engineer, but still it's a really versatile weapon, and a special will not survive a lot if you shoot at it as well. Especially from point blank, a shot into the face of a special from point blank will kill it as well. The handgun just has a little more range on it. So, let's pick this one. Then we get to the juice of this. We want Healer's Touch, so we have overall a 35% chance of not consuming the healing item. We get a proxy trait, so when we consume a potion, the effect spreads to the nearest ally, which means that we always dupe a potion, 100%. It's not necessarily a dupe because we spread that effect to another one, so they don't have a lot of control over it, instead of having 35% chance of actually duping it and then giving it to someone else so they have control over it. But overall, if you get a bit of game sense, you know when to use a potion. So for example, a Red Ogre, or let's just say a mini-boss in general comes in, just pop a Strength Pod close to someone who you think will deal a lot of damage, like a Grail Knight, for example, or not just a Strength Pod, any pod really, especially the Concentration Pod. And you spread that effect to them. Overall, we still have ingenious improvisation, so 1 out of 10 times we still also dupe that potion. Really good if that happens. It happens really rarely, unfortunately, but if it happens, even better, which essentially means 1 potion was made into 4 potions, if that happens. So, and the last one would be Grenadier, just another one where we do not consume the grenade. Now let's get to the talents. Now this might be a little controversial, but I do like to use Hardy Heart. The reason for that is we get a little more versatility out of how we use healing items, which means let's just give you a situation that I recently was in. All 4 of us got downed once before we reached a healing item. We reached a healing item and it was just 1. And our temp HP was already down to 1. The best thing we were able to do in that moment was I used that on me, and everyone else gets rid of the wound, gets healed a little, so there's a bit more breathing room there. It's just overall really useful if you get into that situation. However, it will take a little bit of practice, so you can rely on this instead of temp HP from the level 5 talents. The next one, Master of Improvisation and Foefarer are pretty good. You use this if you want to be a little more in the thick. You use this if you want to use the Grudge Raker with Firing Fury or the handgun in general. Let me change that real quick because I want to use the handgun right now. And then Enhance Power for a bit more ranged damage. The way I've built these weapons with Chaos Infantry and the Charm with Chaos Skaven gives us enough so that we are able to one-hit Marauders. So the Maulers were always kind of the problem. Wait, do I actually, or was that with the Outcast Engineer? Huh, I could be wrong on this actually. Well, let's see in the video when I do some gameplay. But anyway, enhanced power for some more cleave and melee, some more damage overall, really useful. We can also go with Bulwark to go full all in on the support, especially with a hammer and shield melee weapon, and we just go in, stagger the enemies, and they suffer a shit ton of damage, which allows your team to profit from. Then here comes the crux, or not the crux, but the most important part, or this one of the two most important parts. Actually, three. God damn it! Three most important parts of this build. Scavenger. We not just dupe items in general, or have a big chance of duping them, or with proxy have a 100% chance of duping it. Essentially, it's a little semantics here, but anyway. We also have a 20% chance of generating more potions and bombs. And then you can go with No Dawdling, Exuberance, Firing Fury if you want to use the Grudge Raker, just to reload faster, in combination with Master of Improvisation to get your ult back just a little bit quicker. And then at the end, we use Accelerating Vapors. This is where we get our temp HP from, since we do not use one of those talents. Now, you can go ahead and build your ranger so you get a lot of temp HP, but at some point you just max out. This always gives you a nice little cushion of survivability. Also, your allies as well. On top of that, it increases attack speed. Now, I'm not entirely sure why it's this weird number, 8%. They could have just made it 10%. But yeah, you could also go with Ranger's Parting Gift. I've experimented with that a little, but if you use this and this, you will never get any temp HP. And this is, at the end, a little more important for this build to be a real support build. And then let me just hover over real quick so you can see the properties: cooldown reduction and stamina recovery, Skaven and Chaos, stamina and block cost reduction, power versus Chaos, power versus infantry, oh, and conservative shooter. And on the Grudge Raker, where is it? Was that one? Shit. This one. Critical hits restore 5% of maximum ammunition. And then Cockhammer, crit chance and power versus Skaven in melee. The strong attack of the Cockhammer is really strong. Really strong. You could also go with a little more experimental thing with Opportunist to have a stronger stagger power. But I don't find that really necessary with the Cockhammer. I would prefer Swift Slaying over it. It's much more fun, especially if you pop your ult, pop a speed potion, then go in, land a crit, and then you're just a blender of Dwarvish Fury. And that's the build. Let's get to the gameplay, shall we?
Choice of routes, but let's not split up, Glory.
That clanking brutes can't fill my ears. That rot hell might test us, mayflies. one that comes, I'll be sure to let him know you before I end up. This village reminds me of a large dead spider sinking into the night. Hold on, I'm drinking.
That's what I am.
Do it again! Right through! Eyes in the dark. Who saw me into your failure, assassin?
Keep going, Raki. You might hit something.
Revolting, but it could be worse.
Stop shooting me, Carillion! Blood everywhere, and another one's gone.
Rot hell. Have a care! That's a Chaos Warrior! The furnace!
Kill that gas rat! Gas rat! Cross his tail before sun! For you filthy bastards! Oh, there's no stopping us once, is there? Trust me! Warming up!
Warming up! You don't know the meaning of this word, Bardin. A troll! Horses are trolls! Come, sinners! My skin alone will spell you!
Gutter runner! Trolls about a few!
No work comes for you, assassin!
Hang on, boy!
Meet new creatures, little ones.
Chaos Warrior down!
There, our destination in all its suspect glory.
Be ready. Fighting warpfire with steel and shock is no laughing
Seek.
matter. Grimnir's beard and Raki's hand now! us any more grease? Do I spy an ammunition stash? Oh, a chaos warrior!
Take it, eyes!
Like I was never here. Your hell's such dirt.
Nicely done, Marcus! Make it look easy.
Here, have a bomb.
What? Aim like a goblin.
Look for that.
Smell.
That's the Shilazumi bells.
Hot master done. Another wall. We'll use their own battle. That sorcerer is warping the wind.
I'm a mortal of flame. Oh, all right then. Just like that.
Former mayflies. We'll see his fat face soon enough.
This on till we reach the dagger.
Keep back! Get back!
Get fresh dead.
Lilia!
Heavy.
Bardin! Darling, get the wall! Kruger! Keep killing like this and I'm gonna lose my bet.
Bet? What bet? Now don't you listen to her, Zombie. You know how she gabbles on.
Sneak on the side!
Oi, you were looking for us. We decided to come to you. Get down again. Not yet. Not yet. No pull through walls. Not yet.
Mind those wounds, Ward. Heal up.
It's only a scratch, so never patched up.
Are you dead? There's a Chaos Warrior here. A Chaos Warrior. Just what we needed. The Chaos Warrior's dead.
It's an ammunition stash!
Got it down.
only drunk.
Ugh, I suppose that's my blood.
You're badly wounded, Sienna. Zilla's gooey. Bothersome.
Right, Stormer! I'll boil the flesh off his rotten bones!
Southlander weaklings, face me in the arena. I'll take you all on, by myself.
You're mad, but as a madness I like. Ready yourself, was it?
Catch! Stand with these Southlanders! Rockfather!
One less enemy in the world. Plenty more to tend to. Bearing I come. Get out of here, wizard. All right, hang on then. You'll be able to find me head to boat. They're still out there. I'll bet my favorite